first of all, just tell us how pleasing it was to be back involved and to get your first away win of the season last weekend, and to be involved in that, I imagine, was great.
Yeah, it's I've had to be patient with my injury, obviously coming back and missing a large amount of pre-season. So then you're playing catch up a little bit to try and get the minutes back in your legs in the friendlies that we've had behind closed doors. And yeah, got me chance on Saturday and to get the first away win of the season, and 3 points against a tough team. Obviously they've had a slow start themselves, so we knew it was going to be hard, but on a team that's going to roll over. So no, it was a good away performance and an important 3 points.
Just tell us about that phrase that you've just used it there about getting minutes into your legs. So what's the difference between going from a standing start and getting up to being match fit, and how do you measure that as to where you are?
Well, I think you can train all you want, but it's when you go into a game, it's the intensity changes. You can't jog around at your own pace, where in training, maybe in a keep ball situation, you can take a couple of seconds off, and it's not as intense as when you go into a game. You have to be switched on for every second. So your movements are sharper, and it just takes your time for probably your brain to probably click in with your legs and to know where you want to go, and because your brain can think, oh, I want to get that ball, or I can receive that ball, but it's having your pictures in your head of, right, probably last season I would have already checked my shoulder and know where I'm going, whereas you're not trained, you haven't trained to do that in a couple of months, obviously from the playoffs. So it's a frustrating one, because your brain knows what you want to do, but your body's not ready to do it. So it's trying to get as much training as you can and train at that intensity, but you can never get the intensity you get from games. So it's the friendly games that we've had have been really good. A lot of the lads trying to get you minutes, and then obviously you get your minutes in the games when you come on off the bench, but it's never easy, because them games you're either chasing the game or you're trying to see the game out, so it's not the same as maybe the start of a game. But it's a tough one, but we got there in the end.
I was going to say, because I don't think people kind of appreciate sometimes all the fitness work that goes into it, because you hear, right, so-and-so's fit, so people expect, right, you're back and you're up and running. From a footballer's perspective, when you go out on the pitch as a sub as opposed to starting a game, how difficult is that? And like you just said there, is it hard to acclimatise yourself when you've got a relatively short space of time to try and affect the game? Yeah,
I think when you start a game, you can maybe build yourself into the game, and both teams are maybe on the same page of you're trying to suss each other out, so it might start a little bit slower than maybe it ends. I think when you come on as a sub with 20 minutes to go, especially in my position, the game becomes very big, and it's a lot more fast paced than maybe the start of the game. You may be chasing the game. I came on, I think it was in the Exeter game, and we were obviously losing, so you're trying to chase the game. It's different than when you start the game. It's all different scenarios when you come on off the bench, so it's different. It's very different, and if you'd rather be starting the game, you can ease yourself into the game maybe. But yeah, it's a lot that goes behind the scenes that people don't see.
And from what you just said there, midfield's probably the area of the pitch where Vale have got the most competition now. So, coming from somebody who played a lot of games last year, how not difficult is it, but how tough is it mentally to perhaps prepare yourself for the fact that you might not start every game, and you have to accept that you are going to be a sub on occasion? Yeah,
look, it's the quality that's come through the door. Obviously, being raised from what it was last season. The midfield, like you said, is stacked with quality. But that's only gonna push me in training. You know you've got to go that extra step if it's doing stuff after training or in the gym. You've got to do all you can to when you get your chance, you take it. I think last weekend obviously was my chance to go and put a good performance in. I felt that I did that, and now hopefully you can keep the shirt and carry on. That's what it's all about. But the gaffer's said about trying to get a lot of players minutes and rotating everyone, as you've probably seen on the team sheet. So every player's bought into that. I know if it was tomorrow that the gaffer said to me, like, you're not starting, but so and so's playing, it's not about spitting your dummy out and throwing your toys out of the pram. It's about, right, well, that's what's best for the team, and if I'm needed to to come on and win the game, then as long as we get the 3 points, and that's all I'm cared about.
You've played at this level before with Lincoln. From what you've seen so far, I know it's only 5 games, but what, if any, are there any differences from when you were last here now in League One?
No, I think when from then to now, I think there's a lot bigger clubs in League One. I think you look at some of the clubs and some of the fan bases. Obviously, some pretty big teams. You look at Portsmouth here; they'll be bringing. They'll fill the away stand out. I would have thought. So yeah, there's some big clubs and some big followings, probably bigger than there was before. But yeah, I think as a player you relish that, and that's what about getting out of League Two into League One. That's what you want to do. You want to go and challenge yourself against bigger and better teams. And I think so far we've held ourselves absolutely fine. I think we haven't come away from any games thinking that was too big of a step up or they were miles better than us. I don't think any games you can say that. So it's a step up that we all relish, and you've got to give my experience to the lads that maybe haven't played in this league yet.